Okay. Hi guys. I love y'all, but I'm tired.
I know. I'm sorry. That went
It's
long.
okay. That conversation was interesting.
It was very
It
interesting.
was very interesting.
Woo, man. Okay. Brittany, you back. She came back for you, Aubrey, because she told me she was going to bed.
I appreciate it, sister. Thank you.
Yeah. So introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Hello, my name is Aubari. I am what else do I need to tell?
She's gonna be our social media marketer.
Yes, yes, yes.
She
All
has
of the things.
all of the things. A TikTok star.
No.
Oh man. But Aubrey, so switching gears completely to the other side of the spectrum, Aubrey is in an interracial marriage.
I am.
Who I love. I love them both.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um so tell us a little bit about how you guys met.
So it was definitely something out of the blue, something very random. I was working my part-time job as a waitress, ran food to his table. We talked for a little bit after I got off, and we ended up going on a date that night, and the rest is pretty much history. So,
Yeah. Carl shot his shot and dunked it.
And dunked it. Yes.
Yes.
And now we've been married for what, almost 2 years. 2 years in March.
And together, how long? In total?
Forever. Yeah, like 8 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
Yes, and I love it. So before Carl, did you ever date interracially? Was that
like, I mean, I did definitely talk to people, talked to a few guys that were, I mean, the spectrum. I've dated a lot of different races. Relationship, like truly committed relationship, has only been Black men before Carl. So it's a little bit of everything. I definitely did not expect. If you would have asked me years ago if I was going to end up with a white man, I was like, no, probably not. Yeah, I don't have a preference, just, period. But I wasn't expecting to end up with a white man. But here we are.
Happy.
Yes, absolutely.
So what do you feel like are some of the differences that you've seen
in my relationships
with Carl versus like the Black men that you've been in relationships with?
There are definitely differences as far as culturally. The good thing is my husband's from the South. I'm from the South, so we have a lot of similarities. I think that definitely matters. But if I were to compare my relationship to my previous longer term relationship with a Black man, they're very similar. And that relationship didn't end on bad terms. It was just us growing up. We were young. I was 21 years old, and we just grew apart. He moved away. I didn't want to move with him. It was that kind of situation. It wasn't a bad breakup. The things that I looked for when I was getting into this relationship was how he treated me, how how he made me feel, what I could learn from him, what he could learn from me. Is he comfortable in uncomfortable situations? Because I think what a lot of people don't realize in interracial relationships, it's a little bit less about, for me, I can only speak for me, of course, it's a little bit less for me about just dating a white man. For me, it's more so, are you able to handle yourself in these tough situations that you will be put in, especially when we live in the South? We went to the zoo one day and walked into a Wendy's full of older white people, and they just stared. So it's kind of just like, okay, what are we doing in these situations? If someone says something negative about Black people, or if someone says something negative about Black women, what kind of conversation are we having? Are you supporting Black women? Are you, it's kind of that situation, unless like, okay, he's just a white man and I'm a Black woman, are you going to support me in these tough situations, especially this year alone? It's been interesting, to say the least. So I don't know. I'm not going to be an advocate for interracial marriages. I'm not out here like, girl, go get you a white man. It's going to build your credit. It's going to, clear your skin. No, it's stressful. You have to be in a situation where you're prepared to be in an interracial relationship if it is for you. And it's not for everybody. And it's just, it's interesting, to say the least.
Right. And the fact that you say that it's stressful and it's something that you have to be prepared for, that's stuff that you heard when integration was just coming about.
Right.
Like this was just, what was that, 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
When like it just started coming out, like people were having interracial marriages and having interracial relationships and integrating amongst each other, period,
exactly,
with the different races. It was the same conversation. It's something that you have to be prepared. I don't know if you guys seen Hairspray, but something that she said to her, like, you got to be ready for this.
Right.
And so the fact that you're saying that now in 2020 is crazy, but it goes back to my point I was talking about earlier with Q, was that, like, and I've talked to you and Carl about this too, that I think that kicks in with when I see a Black man with a white woman, like that initial, like, oh my God, like in my spirit, like, and it's something I have to check.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to just feel like, to hear that, how that's still continuing on today.
Yeah, I've had some friends that, we see a Black man walking down the street with a white woman and they get the, that feeling. I have never had that feeling. I don't know if it's just because I do have an older brother who has dated outside of his race. So I guess it's just something that I've seen, and it's not something, but I just mind my business and go about my way. But I can understand it. I get questions that I never thought I would get, which is kind of inappropriate, but I understand people's curiosity and wondering, like, oh, well, why'd you pick a white man? Well, and that's not really how it goes.
Right. Comments like, what do you feel like he gave that a Black man couldn't? And I think for you guys, it wasn't that. It was like, it just happened.
Right. I think for me, it was like, in comparison to relationships, because I'm not a person that I've been in two serious relationships, two relationships that I consider like I've been in love in these relationships. And I compared those relationships and the way those men treated me, and it's very similar. So it's not like, oh, how does this Black man treat me compared to how my white husband is treating me now? Right. No, that's just not how it's been for me. So it's, it's interracial dating is everyone's preference. I'm not out here, like I said, I'm not the, spokesperson for interracial relationships, but also I support Black love. I come from Black love. I have a Black dad, a Black brother. I have a Black family. So of course I'm going to absolutely always support Black love. I just happened to fall in love with someone who happened to be a white man. And that's kind of how it was for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that.
Yeah.
Because it's a different narrative that people have, I feel like, socially. Like, we out here choosing. Like, I'm choosing this white. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want Black man no more. I'm going to date a white woman. Yeah. Like,
no, it don't. Because that white man he could probably teach you, like, trash, too. It just depends on the man himself. And I think women, especially Black women, have to really focus on, just how they're treated by men in general, how they're treated in relationships. Are you being respected? Are you able to be your own person? Is that person willing to, create the kind of relationship that you want to create? It's way more than just, race. You have to make sure that you can be your own person in your relationship and also build in that relationship, no matter what that person looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just period overall, like, what are you getting from this person? Are you getting substance?
Exactly.
Not? Yes.
Exactly.
Focus on the heart and soul of the person, not the color.
Okay? Absolutely.
Like overthink it, like make too much of it because, you know, society tells us, you know, this is what you should do, or, you know what I mean? So we automatically overthink it. But when you find someone that you just click with, and, you know, somebody that you fall in love with, you don't, you know, that's not the first thing that you think about, or it's not the first thing that you go to, because, you know what I mean? Like you connected with this person.
Right.
But we always worry about society and what they think, and, you know, and it kind of.
I was watching The Real, and Tisha Campbell was a guest host on there, and they were talking about interracial relationships, and, you know, she's divorced now, so she's back into dating, and they asked her would she date outside of her race or date, I don't know if they specifically said date a white man, but they did say outside of her race, and she said that she was a little apprehensive to answer the question, but overall she said that if she were to not date a black man, she feel like she would be failing black men, which I can understand that feeling, you know, because a lot of times people will, you know, will say stuff about, you know, you must not like black men because you date a white man, or whatever race that you're dating. And a lot of black people do have a lot of questions, are curious on why you would ever date outside your race or date a white man in particular. And so it's difficult to navigate that whole space. And that's why I'm not going to ever encourage someone to date outside their race if they're truly not ready for the questions, the name calling, the stares, it does come with the territory, unfortunately, but I can understand other people's feelings and their want to have black people stay in their community like a lot of other races do. There's a lot of, you know, Hispanic people that don't date outside their race, or white people that don't date outside their race. So I completely understand that.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like talking about like the choosing, I feel like a lot of black men that date outside of their race choose that, like, because they say it. They'll say, and they intentionally do not date black women, and that's where it gets funky for me.
I agree. I'm okay with anyone interracially dating. It's I don't date this person. I don't date black women because.
Yes.
First of all, no, we're not all the same. You cannot put us all in a box. We're completely different. Your excuse of not dating black women, you must not like yourself, or you must not like, you know, a black woman in your family, because that I don't date whatever type of race because of this. It's a little bit harder for me to deal with, but because I am a black woman, when somebody says, oh, if a black man says I don't date black women, I'm like, well, why not? And if their excuse is because they got attitudes, or because the other girls look exotic, I'm like, oh, okay, well, clearly you're hurt, and we can move past. Okay, that's on you. So,
right, yeah, and you know, it's crazy. I saw something on Instagram, which is where I'm always at, and there was a white woman, and she tweeted something about not dating white men. She only dates black men because she has a strong personality, and she feels like other races couldn't handle her personality type. Basically, it's like the just. And then somebody tweeted back and was like, isn't that funny that that's the same reason why black men say they don't date black women?
Right.
How ironic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy conversation.
So would you guys date outside of your race? Specifically, I think it's specifically white men, because I feel like any other race, we not really having this kind of conversation. But would you guys date? Because I think you guys earlier said that you haven't, right?
Yes, and it's not in my plans, honestly.
Not in the agenda.
It's funny because I've had like a lot of like white guys, like, they, like, just want to talk to me. And I'm just like, you know, real apprehensive because I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it just, to me, I just don't feel like it'll be the same. Like, it'll be a connection, or we'll be able to kind of like vibe on the same level. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it could be, again, just, you know, not would be willing to take that, you know, that chance. But it's kind of just something I've kind of been like, is it going to work? You know, just overthinking
right.
everything.
And you always have to be careful because you don't ever want to get with a white man that's only dates black women because of fetishisms. That's always something. Because even, you know, in dating my husband, he's only dated black women, and I was like, okay, tell me why? Because if you're fetishizing me and you're trying to put me into your plan on what you think a black woman should be, I'm not here for you. But that's just his preference. So that's fine if it's your preference. But if you're just want to date me as a black woman because you have this fetishized idea of what I'm going to be to you, then that's a no for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a no for me.
It's a no. And
it's Carl has, like, you meet Carl and he just has this different type, like, he has a little bit of soul in him. Like, look, he got a little culture to him. But he's Carl.
Seasons his chicken.
He's a white man,
yeah.
But he has something about him that's just a little cultured,
right.
Bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is who he is. He don't try to be black. He just cares.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we were out, all of us were out one day in Scottsdale, and this black man sitting there talking to Carl, giving him bottles. Like, he just carries that energy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, do you feel like that came off too, and that's what made it comfortable for you when you guys started?
Absolutely. So the night that I actually met Carl, there was another guy that I was talking to, and I have known him for years. We actually grew up together, and we were talking literally, I mean, just like going on dates, you know, just really getting to know each other. And he was kind of dragging his feet in the whole situation. So then I met Carl that same day and ended up leaving the restaurant and going on this date with him, on a double date. And every time people would ask me, like, well, what made you go on this date with this man? And I'm like, it's just something about his personality, his aura, just who he is, that I was so attracted to in a very short time. So, and it's hard to explain to anyone else what that is unless you truly meet him. He is one of the kindest human beings, literally, that I've ever met. He just comes from a good background. He's kind. He's, you know, sweet. He will literally give you the shirt off his back, you know, give you his last dime. And so those are the things that really attracted me to, you know, to him and made me further our relationship, you know. And it wasn't, and it just so happened he was black. I mean, he was white. So that's just, I don't know. It just kind of works that way for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think if you find somebody like that, I think even if you don't see yourself, excuse my dogs, even if you don't see yourself dating someone of that race, whatever that race may be, I think it's important to explore those as a black woman or as a woman, period. If that person is feeling things for you, filling those spaces that you need and those wants that you need, then why not explore it and see what happens? You might be put in some you know, uncomfortable situations, but at the end of the day, you know, you'll find out if it's for you, if it's not.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think, you know, where I am in my life, I think I should step outside the box a little bit more. So I'm willing
to take that step.
Yeah, I just get a little nervous.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we gotta put the charge.
No, you're fine.
Q was on for like. Oh, well, now she backwards. No,
you're upside down.
Yeah. We're trying to figure it out. Oh,
put it in between.
Okay.
And then you're sideways now. I'm alive. You're sideways.
We gotta get the charger. Q was on for 5 hours.
Right. Very interesting conversation, though.
I know. No, it was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
It was a definitely an interesting perspective, and I'm not gonna say that a lot of men wouldn't agree with him.
Oh no, every man that was on this live was agreeing with him, and I'm sure a lot of other men in this world agree with him. I mean, he had some points in an interesting way, for sure. But I mean, everyone kind of has to navigate their own relationships. So I would never be like, he was wrong, because if that's the kind of relationships that he wants to be in, by all means. If you want to have an open relationship, that's fine. I'm cool with that. If you want to be monogamous, if you want to all of that, you can. It's different for everyone. Just like dating different races is for only some people. So I get it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, like they were saying in the comments a lot, like what works for you in your relationship. Period. Like that's just what it comes to. Like, well, what works for you in your relationship.
Yeah.
But like our whole thing of starting this was just to get the different perspectives and to hear like how other people thought or what other people experienced. Like,
yeah.
For him, he didn't date interracially, and then why? And for you, you did, and how it happened. And like I said, for people to hear, like, I didn't go out and choose this. This is something that just happened.
Right. And some people might not agree with that, and that's fine. But like a lot of people said on here, and I think we all can agree that love is love, and if you can find it, and if you can have that person that matches with you and is your better half, then if that's what you want in your life, if monogamy is your thing, then that's really all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, well, thank you. Did you have I know we've been on here a long
time. I was like falling. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't know if I'll make it.
Just call us back tomorrow. At this point.
But I think what you guys are doing is great, and I'm excited to have been a part of this, even if it was for a short time. And hopefully, I'll be back and talk about more stuff.
Yeah. You definitely need more time because he took all your time.
Yeah.
Like I'm clocking out.
Listen. My mom joined, but she probably at work.
Yeah. You got a lot of East Coast people here, and Q, we was just talking about you. But yeah, so we don't want to have everybody up, but we appreciate you guys for tapping in. Follow the page to get updates for so proud of my daughter, and I love my son.
Love you, mommy. Yes. He said, what y'all say? All bad things.
We said you bald headed. No, I'm just kidding. We said
you for the streets, and that's fine. No, I was kidding.
And that's okay. Oh man!
But yeah, congratulations on the launch of you guys' show, and I hope I will be on each and every time that I can, as far as tuning in, and keep going.
Yes. So have a good day at work, Miss Carol. Thank you guys for coming. We look forward to having you guys back on our next one. We'll post our dates and everything coming soon. But we appreciate you guys for coming on our first live.
Follow our page and share it, and even if you want to be a guest, let us know.
If you have a topic that you want to discuss, let us know. Send us a DM.
We're gonna have Aubari again, so be on the lookout.
Be ready for her.
I'll be back when I'm not so tired.
No, yeah. Brittany said you look like you're ready to be a guest star on The Real.
No,
I had to show off our wall that we did and my plants, give you vibes. I'm giving you vibes over here.
You need to be the host.
We're gonna be ready.
At this point.
All right. right. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Bye.